My parents flew 3.5 hours on a plane to watch my sister unpack boxes in her vacation home. 3 weeks later, they told me a 30-minute drive was too far to come to my wedding. Let that sit for a second. 3.5 hours in the air. Business class. 10 days in Scottsdale. 47 Facebook photos. So proud of our girl. Then my wedding comes around and suddenly my mother's back hurts too much to sit in a car for half an hour. I walked down the aisle with 2 empty seats in the front row. Everyone saw them. Nobody said anything out loud. But everyone saw them. What happened 3 weeks later, what my father showed up at my office carrying in a brown accordion folder, that changed everything. But to understand why that folder mattered, you have to understand where this story really starts. And it doesn't start with my wedding. It starts the day my sister Kendall came home from the hospital. I was 5 years old, standing in the living room, watching my mother hold her like she'd just been handed something precious. I remember thinking, if I'm really quiet, really good, maybe she'll look at me like that too. She never did. The first Christmas I really remember, I was 6. Kendall was 1. I'd asked for a dollhouse, pink roof, working lights, little curtains. Christmas morning, there it was. Exactly what I asked for. My mother put it in Kendall's nursery. Kate, you're such a big girl now. Santa has a budget. Kendall's just a baby. She needs more. I got a $12 coloring book. Kendall couldn't even walk yet. That dollhouse sat in her room for the next 8 years. I never touched it. I told myself things would be different when we got older. They didn't get different. They got worse. High school is when the divide stopped being something I could explain away. Kendall got enrolled at St. Agnes Preparatory, private Catholic school, $18,000 a year. I went to Roosevelt High. Public school. Free. Kendall is more sensitive. She needs smaller class sizes. You're smart, Kate. You'll thrive anywhere. I worked 20 hours a week at Target my junior and senior year, saving every paycheck for college, while Kendall got driven to school in a car my parents bought her. For years at St. Agnes, $72,000. I kept track. Even back then, I was keeping track. Then came college. I got into the University of Iowa with a $15,000 scholarship. The rest I covered with student loans, $52,000. Kendall got into the same university 2 years later. My parents paid for everything. Tuition, room, board, books, spending money, $48,000. Plus another $27,000 for a year abroad in Florence, Italy. I remember calling my dad during my junior year. There was a summer program in Dublin. $4,000. I'd saved $2,000 from my resident advisor stipend. I just needed help with the other half. Kate, we're stretched thin. Kendall needs a car for campus. Maybe next year. There was no next year. But Kendall got Tuscany. I graduated in 2012 with honors and $52,000 in debt. Then straight into a master's program, another $37,000 in loans. Kendall graduated in 2013 after 5 years, 0 debt, a suntan from Italy, and a $3,000 graduation gift check. I got a card in the mail. My parents came to my master's graduation but couldn't stay for dinner. We promised Kendall we'd help her move into her new apartment. I stood in the parking lot in my cap and gown and watched them drive away. $89,000 in student loans. That was the price of being the daughter who was going to be fine. I started working in admissions at the University of Iowa in 2014. I helped first-generation students navigate financial aid, kids whose parents couldn't or wouldn't help them. I understood them better than they knew. By 2020, I was senior admissions counselor. $68,000 a year. And every single month since 2015, I'd sent my parents $400. They called it help with bills. I called it what it was, guilt money. The tax I paid for being the daughter who made it without them. 10 years. $400 a month. $48,000 total. I never missed a payment. Even the winter of 2018 when my heat got shut off because I couldn't cover both utilities and my loan payment, I still sent the $400. They never said thank you. It was just expected. I met Daniel in the fall of 2022 at a community book club. He taught English at the local high school. He had student loans too, $45,000. We bonded over shared debt and books we couldn't afford to buy new. On our third date, he met my parents. Afterward he said, "Your parents seem distant. They're busy with Kendall. Kendall lives in Des Moines. We're literally at dinner with them right now." Daniel noticed things. He noticed my mother called Kendall 3 times during our dinner and didn't call me once. He noticed that when I mentioned my promotion, my father said that's nice and went back to his soup. He noticed that when I sent our engagement announcement, my mother responded 6 hours later with one word, "Congratulations." Daniel was the first person who ever said, "You don't owe them that money every month. They're my parents." It's what family does. Family goes both ways. I wasn't ready to hear it yet. In October 2025, Kendall and Trevor bought a vacation condo in Scottsdale, Arizona. 3 bedrooms. $340,000. My mother sent a group text to the entire extended family, "Big news. Kendall and Trevor bought a second home. We're flying out for the housewarming. So proud of our girl." I was in that group text. My wedding invitation had gone out 5 weeks earlier. No group text about that. My parents flew out October 23rd, Cedar Rapids to Chicago to Phoenix. 3.5 hours. Stayed 10 days. I watched it all on Facebook, 47 photos, proud mom captions, sunset from Kendall's balcony, blessed beyond measure. They bought her a West Elm furniture set and $3,200 in cash. $5,000 in gifts for a vacation home owned by a woman already living in a $500,000 house with a husband making 6 figures. My wedding was 3 weeks away. I texted my mother the day they got back. "Welcome home. How was the trip?" 6 hours later, "Wonderful. We're exhausted though. That travel really takes it out of us at our age." 3 weeks later, that exhaustion would be the reason they missed my wedding. November 10th, 12 days before the wedding. My mother called. "That's a bit of a drive for us, you know." "Mom, it's 30 minutes. It feels longer when you're our age. You just flew to Arizona." "That's different." We were sitting. My stomach dropped. I knew right then. I said I'll see you on the 22nd and hung up before she could hear my voice break. For days before the wedding, my father called my office. He never called me at work. "Your mother's sciatica has been really acting up. The doctor said she shouldn't be sitting in a car for long periods." "Dad, it's 30 minutes. "Well, it's more like 45 with traffic." There's no traffic between Cedar Rapids and Iowa City on a Saturday afternoon. "Kate, don't be difficult. Your mother is in pain. You just flew to Arizona." Silence. That was different. We were sitting on a plane. Plus Kendall really needed us there. It was important to her. And my wedding isn't important. You have Daniel's whole family coming. You'll have plenty of people. Kendall needed us. My hand was shaking. I gripped the edge of my desk. "I need you, Dad. You're being selfish. You've always been the independent one. Your mother's health has to come first." "I understand perfectly." "Good. We'll send a nice gift. We'll see you at Christmas." I hung up, opened my wedding seating chart, deleted their names from the front row, left the seats empty. I texted Daniel, "They're not coming." Then I went back to helping a first-generation student figure out her financial aid. 20 more minutes. Explained how to accept her loans, how to budget for books, how to apply for emergency funds. Then I went to the bathroom and cried. My Uncle Tony called the next day. "He's a damn coward." "I'm coming. I'll sit in their seats." "Uncle Tony, you don't have to. I'm 90 minutes away. If I can make it, they can make it." He hung up before I could argue. Saturday, November 22nd, 2025. I kept checking my phone. Daniel's sister noticed. "They're not going to call," she said. "I know. Then why?" "Because I'm still their daughter, even if they forgot." At 11:47, I checked one last time. Nothing. I turned my phone off at noon. Daniel's father knocked on the door at 1:30. "Kate, it would be the honor of my life to walk you down that aisle. I mean it even more now." The church held 78 seats. 76 people filled them. Front row left, 2 seats stayed empty. Most visible spot in the room. I walked down that aisle and looked directly at those empty seats as I passed. I didn't look away. I wanted everyone to see exactly who wasn't there. Daniel was crying at the altar. Uncle Tony had moved up from 5 rows back. He was front row now, filling some of the space. But not all of it. Not even close. When I said my vows, my voice cracked on to have and to hold. Daniel squeezed my hands tighter. We kissed. Everyone cheered. For about 30 seconds, I forgot about the empty seats. Leo's toast, to Kate and Daniel, and to chosen family. The people who show up when it counts. Who love without keeping score. 76 glasses went up. 2 seats stayed empty. At 5:30, Douglas and I danced to What a Wonderful World. I cried. He held me tighter. You're my daughter now, too, he whispered. I checked my phone at 10 that night. Nothing. No call. No apology. No gift. I slept better than I had in weeks. Because I'd finally stopped waiting. The next 3 weeks, complete silence. No call, no text, no apology, no gift. December 1st, I didn't send the $400. First time in 10 years. My bank account looked strange with that extra money sitting there. December 5th, my father left a voicemail. Kate, I noticed this month the usual didn't come through. I'm sure it's just an oversight. Can you give me a call back? He called about the money. Not to apologize. Not to check on me after my wedding. Just to make sure the checks kept coming. I listened to it 3 times. Deleted it. Didn't call back. What I didn't know yet was that something had already been set in motion. My great-aunt Beatrice had passed away in October. During the estate process, the attorney discovered that my grandmother Dorothy had established a UTMA custodial education account for me back in 1999. He sent my parents a letter on December 2nd requesting a full accounting. I didn't know any of this. But my father did. Monday, December 15th, 2:47 in the afternoon. Sylvia's voice through my intercom. Kate, your father is here to see you. He was standing in the lobby, gray hair thinner than I remembered, wearing his good khakis and polo shirt. The outfit he wore to Kendall's events. Holding a brown accordion folder, thick with papers. Hands shaking. I put him in the small conference room, glass walls, visible to everyone. I didn't sit. He did. He explained about Aunt Beatrice, the estate attorney, the letter requesting an accounting. What trust? I said. He slid documents across the table. Uniform transfers to Minors Act, State of Iowa. Custodial education account, established June 14, 1999. Beneficiary, Kate Sheridan. Initial deposit, $150,000. Custodians, Arthur Sheridan. Linda Sheridan. Your grandmother wanted you to have money for college. I took out $89,000 in student loans. I know. Then where did it go? He pulled out bank statements. 5 years. 2008 to 2014. August 2008, $12,000. Qualified education expense. I grabbed my phone. St. Agnes Preparatory Tuition, 2008, $18,000 a year. Kendall's private school. I kept scrolling. 2011, $27,000. Kendall's year in Florence. 2011 through 2014, $15,000 every year. Kendall's college tuition. Every single withdrawal matched a Kendall expense. While I was filling out student loan applications, my grandmother's money, with my name on it, was being spent on my sister. We made difficult choices. Both daughters needed education. It had my name on it. Family resources are family resources. You were always so independent. You got scholarships. You were going to be fine. I was fine because I worked 40 hours a week while taking 18 credit hours. I made myself fine. You didn't help me. He pulled out one more document, a beneficiary release and acknowledgement form. It said I confirmed I had received the full $150,000 and that all funds were used appropriately for my educational expenses. You want me to lie. I want you to help your family. If you don't sign, Kendall's share of Aunt Beatrice's estate gets delayed. She's counting on it for the kids' college funds. Get out. He stood up, started for the door, and left the folder on the table. Every document. Every bank statement. Every piece of evidence. He was so panicked he left the murder weapon behind. I sat alone and went through the folder. At the very bottom, beneath all the bank statements, was a sealed envelope. Cream-colored. Aged. Shaky handwriting. For Kate. To be opened when you start college. With love, Grandma Dorothy. June 14, 1999. My dearest Kate, you are 9 years old today. You came to my house after your birthday party and told me about your presents. A coloring book, you said. You seemed happy enough, but I watched your face when you talked about Kendall's new bicycle. The one with the streamers and the bell. The one you'd asked for. I see things, sweetheart. Things the adults around you miss or choose not to see. Your mother has always favored Kendall. I don't say this to hurt you. I say it because someone needs to tell you the truth. It's not your fault. You are not less worthy. You are simply less visible to the people who should see you most. I'm putting away $150,000 for your college education. Enough to give you choices. Enough to buy you freedom. This money is for you. Not for your sister. Not for family expenses. For your future. I'm making your parents custodians because legally I have to. I'm trusting them to do right by you. If they don't, Kate, if they take this money, I want you to fight for it. You fight for what's yours. I'm also leaving you my amethyst ring. Your mother wanted it, but it's yours. Wear it and remember, you are worthy of every good thing. If you're reading this, I'm probably gone. But know that I saw you. Every time you stayed quiet when Kendall got praised. Every time you smiled through another disappointment. Every time you made yourself small to make others comfortable. I saw you. And I loved you. And I wanted to protect you. All my love, forever, Grandma Dorothy. P.S. Don't let anyone tell you that independence is the same as not needing love. You can be strong and still deserve to be held. I read it 3 times. Then I put my head down on the conference room table and sobbed. She knew. She saw exactly what they were capable of. She tried to protect a 9-year-old girl who got a coloring book while her sister got a bicycle, and they stole her protection right out from under me anyway. Sylvia knocked on the glass 20 minutes later. Honey, are you okay? No. But I will be. That night, Daniel read everything. He didn't speak for a long time. Then, Kate. This is actual theft. You were the beneficiary. They had a fiduciary duty. They violated it completely. He wanted me to sign a form saying I received the money. You didn't sign it? Of course not. Good. Because we're finding you a lawyer tomorrow. Diana Aldridge. Trust litigation, breach of fiduciary duty, estate disputes. She read everything, asked her questions, then said, this is textbook breach of fiduciary duty. Under Iowa law, custodians of UTMA accounts cannot redirect those funds to another child. What your parents did is not a gray area. Send the letter. Uncle Tony confirmed everything. He told my father in 2009 that what he was doing was wrong. They didn't speak for 2 years after that. Father Patrick, who'd witnessed my grandmother sign the trust documents, gave his account too. She'd told him directly she was worried about me. She'd wanted to make sure I was protected. December 23rd, the demand letter went out. Full restitution, $150,000. Interest, $38,000. Student loan interest I'd paid, $34,400. Legal fees. Total, $222,400. 14 days to respond or we file. My mother called 3 days later. How could you do this to your own family? I want the money Grandma left me. The money you stole. We didn't steal anything. You flew across the country for Kendall's housewarming and wouldn't drive 30 minutes to my wedding. If you go through with this, you'll tear this family apart. You already did that. You did it every time you chose her over me. You did it when you spent my future on hers. I'm not tearing anything apart, Mom. I'm just done pretending it was ever whole. I hung up, blocked her number. I thought I'd feel guilty. I felt free. Kendall called 2 days later. Said she didn't know. Said it wasn't her fault. Then, you were always jealous of me. You're right. I was jealous that you got parents who showed up, who flew across the country to see you unpack boxes but wouldn't drive across town to watch me get married. This is why they like me better. Silence. I know, I said. And hung up. She said the quiet part out loud. And I realized I didn't care anymore. January 3rd, Diana called. Their attorney wants to settle. They know they'll lose in court. Full restitution, $150,000 plus $38,000 in interest. They'd admit wrongdoing in writing. Take it, Diana said. Will it say in writing that they were wrong? It will say they improperly withdrew funds from your custodial account. That's legalese for they stole from you. Then yes. January 10th, I signed the settlement. $188,000 total. To pay it, they sold the house they'd owned since 1992 and moved to a 2-bedroom rental. Kendall received $0 from Aunt Beatrice's estate. I received the full $45,000. All in writing. All legally binding. January 15th, the check arrived by courier. $100,000. Memo line, settlement payment 1 of 2. That afternoon, I logged into my student loan account. Balance, $52,184. I clicked pay in full. Are you sure? Do it, Daniel said. Payments successful. Your balance is now 0. 10 years. 120 payments. $86,400 paid, and now 0. Then I paid off Daniel's loans too. $44,891. Nearly $98,000 paid off in one afternoon. We ordered pizza, sat on the couch, and didn't really talk. Just held each other. For the first time since I was 22, I didn't owe anyone anything. We bought a house. Small 1940s bungalow, hardwood floors, fireplace, front porch with a swing. 506 Millbrook Drive. $60,000 down payment from the settlement. Monthly mortgage roughly the same number I'd been paying in student loans. But this time we were building something that was actually ours. February 15th, the second check arrived, $88,000. With it, a small box. No note. Just my father's handwriting on the label. Inside was my grandmother's amethyst ring. Silver band, deep purple stone. Simple. Beautiful. I slipped it on my right hand. Perfect fit. It suits you, Daniel said. She wanted me to have it. She wanted me to remember I deserved good things. You do. I'm starting to believe that. I established the Dorothy Pruitt Education Trust in February. $125,000 endowment earns about $10,000 a year in perpetuity. Annual scholarship for Iowa students pursuing higher education with no family financial support, administered through the University of Iowa Foundation. The first recipient was Sophie Davis. 19. Journalism major. Working 2 jobs. Estranged from parents who disapproved of her major. Sophie, my grandmother left me money to go to school. My parents took it. I got it back. And now I want to make sure someone like you doesn't have to struggle the way I did. Thank you. This means everything. Use it wisely. Build your future. You deserve this. I couldn't go back and protect the girl I used to be. But I could protect someone else. I haven't spoken to my parents since January 10th. I haven't spoken to Kendall since she told me this is why they like me better. I won't pretend it doesn't hurt. It does, not because I miss what we had, but because I mourn what we never had. The mother who should have shown up. The father who should have protected me. The sister who should have shared instead of taken. But I don't mourn the version of myself who kept waiting for them to change. She's gone. In her place is a woman who knows her worth, who wears her grandmother's ring, who built a scholarship out of the worst thing that ever happened to her, who married a good man who actually sees her, who owns a house with a front porch and a swing, who sleeps without $720 in monthly payments crushing her chest every night. My grandmother's trust was supposed to buy me freedom. They stole it. But I got something they can never take from me now. Freedom isn't something someone gives you. It's something you take back. They spent my future on the daughter they wanted. But I built a better one, for myself, and for every person out there who's been told their dreams matter less than someone else's. Thanks for listening. If this story moved you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it, and don't forget to comment and subscribe for more stories about people who fought for what was rightfully theirs and found the courage to build the life they always deserved. The people who were supposed to see you and didn't, they don't get to define what you're worth.